Hello everyone. Welcome to the session on unified routing, where we will first talk about what are the important use cases that we will be covering throughout this entire bootcamp, and what are the important personas that we will be using, that we'll be focusing on, followed by the basic setup of working with channels, of how record routing and live chat and voice setup can be done using unified routing in Dynamics 365. First, let's start with understanding who is CCD. You'll be hearing this term CCD, or you'll be seeing this term in some of the demos that will be coming forward. CCD is nothing but the company that the name is CounterSource Consumer Division, which is a leading manufacturer and distributor of consumer coffee appliances and accessories. They have been very inspired to create best quality experiences for their customers by creating some of the best known coffee appliances that customers are using. Recently, they have been facing with one of the most important issues that a business can face. There was a constant decline in customer loyalty, and when they tried to understand the issue, the root of the issue, it was due to their poor service delivery. So the business came together and started thinking about pondering on this particular problem statement, and the solution that they found, which CounterSource other divisions have already implemented, is shifting their contact center support to Dynamics 365 customer service. So that's the decision that they have made. And the most important objective behind taking this call is to make sure that the overall customer experience, when any customer is facing an issue, how that experience can be enhanced, how the industry leading features like unified routing, omni-channel that Dynamics 365 customer service offers can be leveraged in CCD. These are some of the important products that CCD has. They sell espresso machines, coffee makers, grinders, coffee beans. While going through the demos, we will be constantly talking about some important personas who are working within CCD. The most important persona is Eugene, who is the customer service director, who is the most experienced agent in this organization, having all the kinds of skill sets all the important kind of skills that would be necessary for solving any customer escalations, customer queries. And the entire service division, entire service delivery organization has been situated in 3 different geos, handling customers coming from these 3 different geographies. There is a USA support center, which is where Rennie Lowe is the supervisor with some agents. Then there is UK division, and then there is Thailand division. So this is how the entire contact center setup looks like from a workforce management perspective. And we will be taking into consideration CounterSource Consumer Division and make sure that their contact center is set up to address the kind of customer queries or cases that they are getting from their customers. Let's now move to the first topic of the day, that is working with channel setup. Here, first we'll try to understand what are channels, what are the different channels that are supported for in Dynamics for customer service, and how unified routing supports these channels in a unified manner, how you can set up a record routing in your contact center on a high level, how live chat setup looks like, and this will be followed by voice setup demo. In this era of globalization, as businesses are expanding to different geos, we know that there is a diversity of customer influx that is coming. These customers have different set of requirements when it comes to addressing their support issues. for the most important concern that customers have, or the preference that they have, is they want to be served in their own mode of communication, preferred mode of communication. That's why service delivery organizations are not only bound to voice channels like how it has been predominantly in the previous time periods. Now businesses are expanding to different channels like live chat, digital messaging channels, apart from traditional voice, case, email channels. This adoption to an omni-channel systems or omni-channel support also necessitates an important need from a system standpoint, that they want to have a unified engine which would support routing for all these different channels. In Dynamics 365 customer service, we support cases, emails, or we can say all the types of records through customer service. Then there are digital messaging channels, live chat channels, which are supported by omni-channel, and we recently introduced voice as a channel in omni-channel. The most important aspect, as it has already been covered in the previous demos, is the unified nature of unified routing, where you can essentially, once you learn the concepts of unified routing, you can apply those concepts to support your routing engine for different channels. Let's start with the record routing setup now. So record routing within a contact center world, records can be of any type, but primarily we will talk about cases. But unified routing can be used to route emails, tasks, leads, any CDS record that is there present in the system can be routed using unified routing engine. For record routing setup, the first thing that you have to do is you need to come to the customer service hub. And once you open customer service hub, you will see you need to go to service management section. In the service management section, you will have a new settings under unified routing. Now, these settings will only come if you have enabled unified routing in your organization. To enabling unified routing, what you have to do is you need to go to service configuration, and there you will find a toggle to turn on unified routing for your environment. So once this toggle is turned on, you will find these new settings coming up. Now you need to go to record routing. In record routing, this is the first step when you want to set up any case email as a channel. Like in our example, Contoso Consumer Division wants to set up a case channel where any case that gets created will get routed to the right set of agents with right set of skills. That's the primary requirement that that CCD has from the system. Now, taking that example forward, first thing that we have to do is we need to enable any record for routing. Like in our case, we've already enabled case as a record. When you enable case as a record, there are certain important decisions that you have to make. First is you need to decide intake rules. Now, intake rules will define what kind of cases should be routed using unified routing engine versus what kind of cases should be routed using basic routing rule sets, right? So there are these two different types of basic and advanced routing rules that can be used within your organization. An intake rule is the place where you can facilitate that. We will double click on all these concepts in detail in coming session, where Srini will take us through what intake rules are and why we are using it, what is the difference between basic versus advanced routing. But let's take our simple example, where we wanted to set up a contact center for CCD, and they want to set up a record channel, and they want to route all the cases that are coming via, let's say, that are originating via some of these divisions or via email as a channel, should be routed to their own agents. Now, this is the first set of rules that you have to write. But what happens is when you're writing a rule, you need to define in which work stream you want to set this. You want to send this incoming work. Now, work stream as a concept will be introduced in much more detail in the coming session. But on a high level, you can think of work stream as a container that contains similar kind of work items. So in this case, like we have created a work stream called CCD record work stream that handles all the cases all the records, all the cases that have come for Contoso Consumer Division. So this is the rule that we have set up. Now, if we go to, for the next step in this entire process is to go and set up the work stream where we are routing this entire incoming work. For that, you need to go to work stream. We have already preset few work streams over here. I'll be going through the CCD record work stream first. Then we will also talk about how you can set up live chat for this. But if you see, CCD record work stream has 2 intake rules associated with it. So if any case that is of the type problem will automatically come to this work stream, that is one intake rule, and then second is intake rule is about the origination of the case. Also, after this, there would be certain work classification rules and route to queue rules that you'll have to define in this work stream. Now, what is this? When a new work is coming in your work stream, system needs to understand what kind of work that has come, that has landed in that work stream. And to do that, we embellish this work item with certain context information based on whatever rules you configure. Like in this case, what we are saying is first rule set is to set the priority of the incoming case. If let's say if incoming case is of the type problem, you want to set the priority to high. That's the requirement that CCD has. They want to categorize all the high priority work if customer is facing a problem. Then there are multiple other rules that we have set up over here. Like you see, I am using ISF, that is Intelligent Skill Finder model, where whatever incoming case description is, based on that, we identify certain skills that are needed to solve that type of work, and then route it to that agent who has those appropriate skills. We are also using sentiment and effort models. Sentiment, these 3 are ML models which are shipped out of the box. Sentiment model and effort model tries to understand what is the sentiment of the customer, what are the effort needed to solve this customer query. And then there are certain manual skill identification models that we have also set up. How you can set up these different rules and what output needs to be defined and what are all these components will be explained in detail. What we are touching upon here is on a high level. This is how I have set up the work classification within a work stream. The next step is to route to queue. Now that we have understood that from a system side, what this incoming work item looks like, what is it about, what are the skills needed to solve this problem, what is the effort, what is the sentiment. When you have all these rich information with you, you will define in which queue you have to set up. You have to send this incoming work from this work stream. And queue is the resting place of the work items where all agents are present. From queue, you will pick up that system will pick up that work item and assign it to the right set of agents. In this case, what we are doing is if any high priority work is coming, we need to send it to USA queue. That is USA Entity Support queue, which has been created in CCD. So, and then there are a few other rules also that we have written. There are a few different queues based on geos that have been created, which are routing these work items to those respective queues. Now, till this point, what all things we have achieved? We have defined the intake rule, which will take any specific type of case to the work stream, which is CCD record work stream. In CCD record work stream, we are embellishing the work with certain context elements. And now we are routing that work item to the right queue. Let's take one example. We have a customer who is facing an issue with their coffee maker machine, and they are raising a case by talking to one of the support agents. Now that support agent will raise the case for this customer, and when they try to route it, that work should come to this work stream. Since it's a problem, it should be categorized as high priority problem. It should also have some skills attached to it, and then it should route to the right queue. The next important aspect over here is work distribution within a work stream. There are multiple other features which are relevant in terms of setting up this channel, like what are the allowed presences, what is the default skill matching. But you can think on a high level, work distribution decides how incoming work in this, what are the different parameters through which a work will be distributed among agents. Like in this case, we are using capacity. For capacity, we are using unit-based capacity. So for any incoming work, we'll see if the agent has that this much capacity to solve this work or not. There is also profile-based capacity, and all these features will be talked about in detail. Now that we have identified in which queue this work will go, let's go and see how a queue setup can be done. As I had already mentioned, there are different queues that we have created for chat and entity, since there are two channels we are going to set up for this CCD service delivery division. One is chat, another is case channel. For each geo, we have created separate queues. We will go to a queue that has been created for USA channel. So in queue, as I already mentioned, is a resting place for any incoming work item where agents are also present. So any work item that is going in a queue will essentially at the end be assigned to the agent who are part of the queue. Here you see that there are 3 agents who are part of this queue, and we are using certain assignment methods to assign this incoming work from the queue. There are 2 out-of-the-box methods that you will find over here. Highest capacity will assign work directly to the agent who has highest capacity. Round robin will do a round robin assignment to agents. And we have defined a custom method where we are writing certain prioritizations and assignment rule sets. Now these rules, prioritization rule defines in which order you want to assign the incoming work. Like in this case, what we are doing is high priority items are getting assigned first, then normal and low priority items. Once the priority has been decided, we also use in what order the assignment needs to happen. So that will be defined by assignment rule sets. And let's say in this case, what we're doing is for all the normal and high priority cases, we are assigning using the priority assignment by priority method, where assignment is purely based on available and busy. So what CCD wants is, if any high priority case is coming in, it should be routed to the agent who is available at that point of time or busy at that point of time, without making the customer wait for anything. That's the basic scenario CCD is trying to answer. And then if the cases are of low priority, system can take its own sweet time to find the right skilled agent. The intent here is to not assign an incoming work as soon as possible, but to assign it to the best suited agent who can take the time to solve these queries in a much more detailed manner. Now, once the queue setup is done, once this prioritization and assignment methods have been set up, what you can do is your queue setup is done at this point of time. You can also set up like a queue operating hours and all those things. But what we will do now is we will create a case, and we will see how that case is getting routed to the right set of agents. There are different other features which also come as part of unified routing, which will be explained in further. But what I will be showing is how a case gets created now based on the setup that we have done, how that case gets routed to Eugene, to the right agent, and then how Eugene works on that case and resolves that customer question. We will now be creating the case to verify if the routing system or routing strategy with which we have configured the system is working in line with our expectations. So I'll start with the first case. In this case, the customer, Claudia Ballard, is facing some issue with the coffee maker that she had recently purchased from CCD's New York City branch, which is in USA. And she wants CCD to send a technician over her place so that all the issues are resolved for her. Now, based on this case description, the front office agent has identified few important aspects of the case. First is the customer is Claudia Ballard, which is a registered customer in the contact center. The case title is this. Then there is it's a problem that she's trying to solve for her coffee maker. It has originated in USA division, and the description that has been roughly captured by the support agent, front office support agent. So according to this, there are few important steps how this routing should work for case, right? And the expectation is this should go first of all in the record work stream when a case gets created. Then since it's coming from a customer who has purchased the machine in USA, it should go to USA entity support queue. And based on the skills and the kind of priority of the issue, it should be routed to the agent who is available at this point of time and as soon as possible. So let's go ahead and create this case for Claudia. I have logged in here as a front office support agent. So I will create a case. I have also logged in with Eugene as a user, and you would see me available to take a chat at any point of time. I'm using customer service workspace to work on whatever cases that have been assigned to me. So let's go ahead and create the case. When I click on the case, I'll quickly create a case over here with the details that we have we have captured over here, right? So first thing is let's add the customer. Customer is Claudia Ballard, which is a registered user. As you can see, the contact has already been created for this customer. Then we have this coffee maker. We know the title of the case that my coffee maker has stopped working. It's a problem that is being faced by the customer, which needs to be addressed. The case is coming from USA division, and then we have the description of the case. So let's capture the description in this, and then we will save and close this case. So once we close this case, the record will get created, and I'll open that record. So all these things are happening by a front office agent who is, let's say, picking up a call from the customer and creating these cases on the go. Now, once that agent has created the case, agent will hit save and route. And based on our expectation, this case should travel through the path. First, it will go to a work stream, that is CCD record work stream. Then it will go to a queue, that is USA entity queue, and then it should be assigned to the available agent at that point of time, right? Based on the assignment logic that we have used over here. So once all these processes are complete, that case should finally land with Eugene, and Eugene should get that case assigned. While this routing is going on, now I want to also show a few more things. Like, the most important aspect is you can use diagnostics at this point of time to understand how this case is getting routed or is getting assigned to an agent, right? So if you see, this case has come and it has been assigned to Eugene to work on. So Eugene can go ahead and open this case and start working on this case as it will appear on her dashboard. So this is the case that we created for Eugene. It got assigned in, and Eugene will open this case and start working on this case. So if you see, there are a few elements which has already been set over here. First thing, the priority of the case has been set to high because it's a problem. And then the case went, all the details are mentioned, and the case went through this route. Also, let's say if you want to understand what is the routing journey this case has traversed through, we can go to routing diagnostics and open this diagnostics related to this record. Now, in this case, the first rule that was run was intake rule that we set up, where anything that is originating in these divisions, or let's say a case has been created via email, then that case that should be put to a CCD record workstream. That intake rule has been run. There are multiple classification rules that we have set up. First is, if the case title contains, if the case title has coffee maker, we need to attach coffee maker skill to this case. Then there are other rules, or in summary, you can see these are the rules which have been assigned. There's also an intelligent skill finder which has identified that coffee maker is the skill that is needed on the agent side to solve such queries. That's another important aspect that we are doing. There are also sentiment prediction, then effort. All these ML models are also playing part This at this point of time, work item was embellished with this important context information, and then it was routed based on the matching, the highest matching order of the rule. It was routed to entity support queue. When the work item came to support queue, there the prioritization rule was applied, and since it's a high priority ticket, because it's a problem statement, and we had prioritized in the prioritization rule set of the work stream. We had set up that anything that is of the type problem should be considered as high priority ticket. Since it's a high priority ticket, it is prioritized in the first bucket, and for all the high priority work, we are assigning things using that assignment by priority. The assignment method that is being used is assignment by priority, where we are making sure that we don't want to. Our intent, CCD's intent, is to make sure that this high priority customer gets agent as soon as possible. So we are just using the presence criteria over here, and whoever is either available or busy, we are assigning that agent to such customers who are facing some important problems which needs to be addressed. So this is the entire path of the first. So this was the first test that we did. There we can do one more testing for end-to-end testing for like how things will work out. We have one more scenario over here. So in this case, there is a customer called Fabricum One who has bought certain grinders and espresso machines from CCD, and they want to inquire about if there is any warranty extension that can be done for their product, so that they'll be shielded from any kind of failures in future. It's like a contingency plan that they're trying to come up with, and that's why Maria Campbell from this Fabricum One organization has reached out to support. So let's create a case for this, and based on our intent, since it's a case of type question, it should be termed as a low priority case, and it should be assigned to the agent who has these exact set of skills, instead of assigning it to an agent who is available at that point of time. Now in this case, currently Eugene is available, so ideally instead of assigning it to an available agent, we want to make sure that since it's a question, it should be assigned to an agent who is very well versed with solving such kind of warranty questions. Since Renee and Sarah has those kind of expertise in grinders and espresso machines and warranty questions, work should get assigned to any of these agents. So let's test it out. We are creating let's add the customer, that is Fabricum. Then we know the case title is warranty inquiry. It's a case type is question. It's originating from, again, the USA division. And then finally, the description. We also have contact over here, that is Maria Campbell, who is reaching out from this organization. Let's create this record. Once the record is created, again, I'm telling this is a front office agent who is creating. If you want to create cases directly on your form, you can write custom code, or you can also use Power Automate flows to create these cases like a typical contact center setup. Now, once I hit the route, unified routing will start picking up this new work item, and it will start routing it. Now, since I have not logged in with any Renee or Sarah, the only place for us to go and see that where the work item has landed is either we can check in the ongoing conversation dashboard where the work item has gone, or we can also verify the routing in the routing diagnostics page. In unified routing, we have this routing diagnostics where you can go. Now here, if you see, this is the work item that we created. It's a case related to warranty inquiry. It went to first CCD work stream, then it went to USA entity queue, and it was assigned to Sarah as per our expectations. If you go through the detailed journey of this work item, you can see that some of the intake rules got applied, some of the skills and other rules got applied, and once skill got identified, it was routed to the right queue, and then the prioritization prioritized this as a low ticket, and then finally it went to an agent who had exact skill match and who was most proficient in this skill, which were identified using, let's say, ISF identified skill as coffee maker and all those things. So that's how this unified routing is working for a record type of work streams. Now that we have seen how record routing has been set up for Converse to Consumer division, let's move towards setting up the second channel that this contact center setup needs, that is setting up live chat. For setting up live chat in Dynamics 365 customer service, you need to have omnichannel for customer service application installed. Now, first we'll see how you can provision omnichannel for customer service on your org. For that, what you have to do is, for your Dynamics 365 environment, you need to go, there is a consent URL, the link for which have been shared in the lab manual that has been provided. If you click on the consent URL, it's also there in the documentation. You will be directed to this page. In this page, what you have to do is you have to consent on behalf of your organization and accept. Once you have accepted these consent requests, you can move to the Power Platform Admin Center. In Power Platform Admin Center, when you land, you will find this tab for resources. You need to go under Dynamics 365 Customer Service, where different apps have been shown which are enabled for your org. So you need to search for Omnichannel for Customer Service, which if it's not configured, you can go in this and click on Manage. Once you click on Manage, it will take you to a page which is Dynamics 365 Administration Center. Now here, you need to go to your own environment, or if the environment has not been configured for Omnichannel, you need to click on this Add Environment. And here you can select the environment which you want to configure. Now, since I have already configured from mine, and then you can, it is not showing here. But once you select environment, you need to select what all different channels that you want to configure for the environment. All the digital and social channels are listed over here. Like in this case, in the case of my environment, I have configured all the channels: chat, voice, SMS, social, Teams. All these channels have been configured for the environment. Now, once this configuration is complete, it takes roughly, like once you have selected this and once the configuration is ongoing, it takes around an hour or so for everything to be configured in your environment. Once things are configured, what you have to do is you need to log into your environment with the admin credentials, and you can click on this application selector. It will open a pop-up where all the different applications are listed. Now you can find that there are three applications. One is Omnichannel Admin Center, or there's Omnichannel Administration, and then there's Omnichannel for Customer Service. Now this you can ignore because this is an old administration which is planned to be decommissioned soon. For configuring anything in Omnichannel, you need to make sure that you are going to Omnichannel Admin Center app. Now once you log into Omnichannel Admin Center app, you will find the similar set of settings that you get under the unified routing section in your customer service hub. So here also what I'll do is you have to follow the same steps. You need to create a work stream. Now, since for the channels, for the case channels, we were using intake rules, which would decide in which work stream the work should be put. In this case, for a live chat, what we have to do is first we have to configure a work stream of the type messaging. Like you see here, I have already configured a work stream of messaging type, but this is how the configuration looks like. I need to click on new work stream. Let's say whatever name I select, and I need to select the type of work stream. If it's messaging, there are multiple channels which are supported under messaging work stream. For this demo purpose, I am using chat as a channel. And then there are multiple options like how you want to make chat persistent or not. Then once you're done, you want to select the mode of distribution. I am selecting push and not pick work stream. So basic difference between these two types, and again, this is same work distribution mode, which is also available in record type. In push, work item is directly pushed till the agent. In pick, work item goes till a queue, and from there agents can pick the work item according to their understanding of the issues. So once you create this, a messaging work stream gets created. So this is how a messaging work stream would typically look like. Now, the first thing that you have to do is you have to first configure a chat widget, which would be hosted on a on your organization's portal. So customers can go there, click on the chat widget and start a conversation for you. So for creating a chat widget, you just need to click on this add a chat channel, select the whatever, let's say we are creating a test chat widget over here. You can select certain things like how the chat widget would look like, then what are the different functionalities. You can also select a pre-chat survey questionnaire, which will be used to get some information about the customer issue. Then you can also configure a post-chat survey. All these settings are already provided, and you can read the documentation of Omnichannel for Customer Service to understand all these different aspects. Now, for this demo, we will be focusing more on the routing angle rather than configuring the chat widget. So I have already configured a chat widget over here. And once you configure a chat widget, you can copy the code snippet of this chat widget and host it in your portal. To do that, what you can do is you just need to log into your, once you've copied the chat widget code, you just need to go to portal management. In portal management, you can either go in content snippet and select and search for chat widget over here. So it will open this chat widget content snippet. What you have to just do is you have to go in this HTML and copy paste the code, content snippet code that you've done. As you can see, I've already copy pasted it. That's one. Or if you want to, let's say, host it on a specific page on this portal, you can host it using here. Let's say I want to host it on a support page. I'll go to support home. Here I need to go to localized content. In localized content, I need to go to HTML, and here I can add the copy chat widget code for chat widget to load here. I'll switch back to Omnichannel Admin Center now, but let me show the portal that I have configured. So to configuring a port, this is a Power Apps portal. As you can see over here, you can configure this. The documentation clearly calls out how you can configure a Power Apps consumer portal. Once you configure the portal, it's an easy way for you to configure a website and start testing out your organization. In Contoso's case, we have configured this Contoso consumer portal for unified routing, and we have hosted a chat widget. For this chat widget, we have also created 2 pre-chat questions. One question talks about what the query is about, where there are multiple options given, and the other question talks about if customers want to share any details about this. Now, let's first go through the configurations that we have done for this work stream. Right? Whenever a customer is creating a chat request, the first thing that happens is that the chat widget is linked to this work stream, so that work lands in the work stream. Now, in work stream, what happens, as we've already seen in the record routing setup, that first thing that happens is classification of the work. That means we will embellish the incoming work item with some important context. In this case, you can see that the steps to configure this is exactly similar as what you've done for the record channel. Here also, I have created a rule set to identify the skills. What I'm doing over here is the pre-chat questions that I'm asking. The response to those questions I'm using to attach some manual skills. Then there are rules like you can also detect the right rules to detect customer location. You can also use intelligent skill finder, sentiment models, effort models. All the ML models are also available in similar fashion over here. The only difference is you need to write rules in a different way, and all these things will again be explained in detail when we cover the work streams setup. So once this is done, once you have classified the work properly, you need to write a route to queue rule as you had written earlier in the record workstream setup. So here also I'm using the details from query to route work item to a particular type of queue. Once route to queue is done, another important aspect over here is to configure how the work distribution would happen. So here also I'm using unit-based mode, but you can also use a capacity profile-based allocation over here, and there are certain other settings which are used. We are also using all the allowed presences to route the incoming work. Once this workstream setup is done for a messaging channel, we need to move to the next part of the routing, next step of the routing. That is when a work item has been embellished in the workstream and has been routed to a right queue. Let's say in this case, work item is coming to a queue, which is USA chat support queue for CCD. In CCD, the most important aspect is whenever a live chat is created, we need to make sure that the work gets routed to an agent within less amount of time. So in this queue, I have added all the users. Eugene has also been added to this, since I have also logged in with Eugene in this other environment where I'm already working on certain cases. Now in this case, I have similarly, as we had already seen in advanced queues in customer service when we were doing record routing setup, that you have two out-of-the-box methods to assign the incoming work in the queue. We have created a custom assignment method over here, where we are using, first of all, we are prioritizing the incoming work based on the type of query and then based on skills. And then assignment is happening based on skills and presence. In real time, we are matching the presence and skills of incoming work to the agent's skill and presence. And then we are assigning work accordingly. So this is how this completes the setup for routing any work which is of the type live chat or conversation. There are other features similarly available over here that is called diagnostics, and then you can also train your models using effort estimation, sentiment prediction, and intelligent skill finder models can also be used over here. So we will now switch gears and move to a live demo where we will see how these things are coming together and making sure an incoming chat request is getting routed to the right set of agents. So I have drafted a demo scenario for Contoso Consumer Division where a customer is facing issue with its Contoso coffee makers. And then because this customer is from Atlanta who had recently bought the coffee maker, and customer is not happy because this coffee maker suddenly stopped working. And that's why they're raising a support request and they want to get it solved real time. That's why they have gone to a chat, the Contoso Consumer Division's portal that we have, that CCD has configured, and raising a support request. So let's go to the portal first. This is the portal. And then I go to support page where I see that the portal, as a customer, I see that the widget has already been loaded over here. My issue is about coffee makers, and let me write down the issue that I'm facing. I'll raise the support request now. Customer has raised the support request now. So there are customer is greeted with few things, and then customer is waiting in the queue for an agent to be assigned to this customer. So you can see that this conversation has been routed to Eugene, who was logged in at that point of time. This is a real-time work assignment where incoming live conversation was routed to an agent who was working at that point of time. If I go ahead and accept this chat, you will see that a chat control loads and I can start having conversation with this customer. So these are all the features that you can use in whenever you're having whenever agents are having conversation with their customers. There are some important aspects to this entire setup. You see there is customer 360 view where you can also see the response for the pre-chat question that has been put forth for the customer. There are also skills which tells what are the skills that got identified for this conversation. Agent can update these skills and edit these skills on a real-time basis. We will also see how the routing took place for this entire conversation. For that, what we need to do is we need to go to routing diagnostics. In routing diagnostics, you see that there is a new entry that has come up for a recently routed work item. When I open this, since this is a live conversation, intake rules will not work over here. There are multiple classification rules. You see all these classification rules have been run, and some of them have already been applied. We have detected customer location as USA based on the query that customer selected. Then the query was about coffee maker, that has also been applied. And then there is effort and sentiment prediction models that have also been configured and been used over here. Based on the data, the work item has been routed to USA chat queue. It was prioritized as we wanted to do a skill-based assignment over here. And then we have assigned to an agent who has coffee maker skill. If you go in agent users and if you see the Eugene's profile, you will see that Eugene has been given the skill. For that to know, you can go to user attributes and see that Eugene has been given this skill of coffee maker. If you see, Eugene is listed as a proficient agent who can handle queries on coffee maker. That's why this assignment happened. So here we saw how an incoming chat request from a customer, Contoso Consumer Division customer, was routed to an agent who is proficient in solving such kind of queries. Customer was having issue with its coffee machine, which they had recently purchased in some of the stores in USA of Contoso Consumer Division. And that's why this work got routed to a work stream, which is dedicated for live chat. And then it went to a queue, which was dedicated for USA, queries coming from USA region. And ultimately it was assigned to an agent who was proficient in solving such kind of queries using the skill-based matching. So this covers the entire setup of unified routing, for basic setup of unified routing, how unified routing can be used across different channels. You see the kind of settings or the kind of configurations that you have used, irrespective of channels, remains same. And the basic tenets that has been used in setting up a routing system for your organization still remains the same. That's why this entire setup we have termed as unified routing setup, because it unifies different channels with the same set of configurations.